Alright, let me chill before you guys eviscerate me in the comments. This show is literally about trash. Gachiakuta is a new gen shonen anime I've been watching with a lot of potential. The story, the animation, the fights, and the voice acting are all super polished. Especially the voice acting for the English dub, like, just listen to this.
Dude crashed out and went on a murder spree. Promise you're not gonna crash out on me, alright? It's your boy, Jaba! Rudo, my man! I'm about to get mad. I did stuff in here. Careful now, I can only get so erect. You got some pretty good game for a worn out, foul mouth, butthurt, ratchet, short stack sphere, right?
English dubs have started to incorporate up-to-date slang and meme culture into their scripts. It's only a matter of time until we hear a 6-7 joke in an anime. Anyways, I finally finished watching My Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, so let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. It starts off with a quote of the day like it's Classroom of the Elite that says, "It's said when an object is treated with care, a soul will come to inhabit it, so when trash is thrown out, what comes to inhabit it?" This is the type of letter that would be attached to one of them haunted dolls. Ironically, we cut over to this little girl holding a broken doll as her mother tells her to throw it away so that they can get a new one. Low-key, they are kinda dressed like celestial dragons. That's when we cut over to our main character hooded up as he gets caught scavenging through a bunch of trash. The guard who spotted him instantly upped a blicky on him like damn. For all he knows, he's ready to up fire on a homeless man looking for his next meal. Our main character hits him with the forbidden dookie juice before parkouring away. They end up catching up to him as he uses future sight to dodge all the bullets and escapes into the sewers. We cut over to a pan zoom out animation of two different areas of the city, and my celestial dragon comparison from earlier isn't even starting to sound that crazy. This is how top city and undercity look like in Arcane. The ghetto side of the wall is basically the favelas. These people are called the tribesfolk, and our main character Rudo over here has a hobby of going into the apostle side and stealing a bunch of trash that they've thrown out. Which again, I don't know why it's such a big deal that they threw it away to begin with. We get introduced to Chiwa, who's kinda like Rudo's love interest. She's kind, caring, and even stands on business against the people who were bullying Rudo. She kinda reminds me of like Mimosa from Black Clover. Rudo on the other hand is a certified YN. He gets especially angry when you bring up his pops because there seems to be some hidden background lore. After Rudo displayed some L-Riz, he goes home and we are introduced to our Iruka sensei. This guy's name is Recto and he basically acts like a father figure to Rudo since he found him as an abandoned baby. He teases him for having negative game and then tells him that he needs to stop going on his side quest to the other side of town since it's extremely dangerous. He patches him up and sweet mother of pearl, his hands are ashy as hell. Put some cocoa butter on there, bro. Matter of fact, you might need some Vaseline for this one. Apparently he's been like this for as long as he can remember and it causes him extreme pain unless he's wearing these specific gloves that Recto gave him. He goes out for a stroll as we get some more cutie patootie moments between him and Chiwa. It really seems like they both like each other. I sure hope they get together. Like, do you know how in love you gotta be to jump through the air like Gear 5 Luffy? He runs home to go and tell Recto the good news, but as he opens the door, the owl from Tokyo Ghoul turns around and it's clear that he's hit Recto with a British greeting. Damn, it hasn't even been 10 minutes. Rudo goes into his anime rage mode but gets off-screened as this guy casually strolls out of the front door. Rudo wakes up and runs to Recto, who grabs him by the collar and tells him to run away and change this world. He for sure knows something we don't. What do you mean change the world? Rudo might be the child of prophecy. Sadly, he gets caught lacking by the celestial dragons and these guys are more trigger happy than American police officers. But to be fair, this time he was standing over a dead body. They accuse him of murder and without even a fair trial or nothing, they sentence bro to death by pit. This justice system is ruthless, out here moving like Doug Hudson.
I want this nigga hung by jumper cables.
In the middle of the city, there's like this giant bottomless pit and the people in power have been using it like it's some sort of modern day guillotine. I think I'd rather get caught jaywalking by Batman than get thrown into this pit. Look at the way these guys are cheering. Imagine they had something like this today. Yeah, hey honey, you down to watch the execution tonight? I heard they are sending 67 people to a fall for eternity. Rudo is obviously so outraged at what's happening. He shouts at his shorty to vouch for him just for her to switch up like Rachel from Tower of God. What? I'm actually perplexed. Rudo is justifiably so crashing out as he looks up one last time and sees Recto's killer just chilling in the crowd as he begins to fall into the abyss like it's an early 2000s anime opening. He begins proclaiming some Eren Yeager level rhetoric, saying that he swears revenge on everyone that hold him when the next scene just cuts to him at the bottom of the pit somehow still alive. He looks around and it kinda just looks like your average dumpster, but when he turns around, he sees this giant kaiju, Elden Ring beast monster thingy majingy that begins chasing him. He continues to evade them and realizes that he might be in Jahannam. Rudo is on 2 HP and decides he's gonna go out squabbling, so he picks up this pipe and clocks one trash beast in his jaw. He tries to follow up but ends up getting bounced jumps into the mountain. Rudo really isn't doing so good, but I gotta respect the dedication to the squabble. He grabs this piece of metal and practically hits the trash beast with a Getsuga Tensho as he finishes the other one with a world-cutting slash. This man is not a regular human. Right when he thinks it's over, another one comes through, sending him flying. This is really how it feels to play any early stage of any Dark Souls game. But right when he was at his physical limit, Kisuke Urahara pulls up. Like, no, deadass, tell me this isn't a Bleach reference. He gives him a gas mask and Rudo instantly begins yapping, but the masked man tells him to be quiet numerous times because these trash beasts use sound to locate their prey. One begins forming around him when he equips his Bankai and turns his umbrella into some type of weapon. It's still like a 1v15 and this guy is just standing there, unfazed. He eviscerates the first one and speed blitzes the other two, flying down like Mary Poppins. There's only one left as it begins charging a hollow purple, but Bro Chacho deflects it and charges up a Gurren Lagann type move from the top rope, obliterating it into nothingness. This guy is a demon. I don't know who he is, what he is, or what's even going on anymore, but that's my guy. He walks to Rudo and asks him if he's okay when he takes off his mask and says that he's a cleaner. What a goated character design though. How is he even more tough without his mask? Rudo passes out from the blood loss, but by the time he wakes up, he's tied up and being dragged along by the guy who saved him. Rudo starts tweaking again and tells him to teach him everything about this place so that he can go back and get revenge on the people that threw him out. That's when Bro just takes him to this random area of bandits and calls it a learning experience. The Lethal Company NPCs ask Rudo if he's a Spherite, which are people who are living above ground, and Rudo tells them yes. They get all excited and seem very nice, just for it to cut over to them sealing Rudo away like he's Tai Lung. It turns out that Spherite actually sell for a high price on the black market. They are super rare because the people on the ground hate the people that live above them as they continuously dump their trash on them, which causes those trash beasts to spawn in. The world concept is honestly kinda cool. The bandits swear that all Spherites are living amazing lives whilst they are all struggling, but they don't know that my boy Rudo grew up in the trenches. He starts bugging out and a red aura engulfs his gloves as he breaks free from their chains. It's a wrap. You know an anime character is about to go insane when his eyes go full white. He's releasing all his nen out here looking like the hero killer Stain. His eyes start glowing red like Kurapika as he grabs the chains and lands an insane down heavy. The bandits close the distance and knock away his weapon, but he grabs a random tire and off-screens the rest of these bombs before walking down the final one. I thought he was gonna put him on a t-shirt, but Engine pulls up and stops him just in time. He explains that people who can use the powers Rudo just displayed are called givers. Givers can imbue their cursed energy into specific items that they have taken immense care of, but usually you can only do it with one item, but Rudo seems to be able to just grab whatever he wants, which might be possible due to his gloves. Engine offers to give Rudo all the answers and support he needs, but in exchange he needs to join the cleaners, which is like a group of people working together to keep the city safe or something like that. Rudo initially declines, so Engine explains to him that he won't be able to survive on his own since almost everyone on the ground hates the Spherites as much as the bandits from earlier. The underground city's design is honestly kinda tough. It looks like something straight out of Cyberpunk. Fast forward and Engine dips out, leaving Rudo with some money which gets taken by this cat, so Rudo chases after it, taking the stick to try and catch it. But turns out that the stick belonged to this guy who looked like he would fit right into the Tokyo Revengers cast. He grabs it back and it seems like he's part of the same group as Engine because he releases his chakra into the stick as it transforms into a Sage of Six Paths weapon. His name is Zanka and Engine appointed him to be Rudo's teacher, but they are having what Bunox likes to call a nigger moment, when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical person. Rudo activates his Sharingan and looks like they are about to squabble, but Rudo decides to be the bigger person and apologize, which instantly calms down Zanka too. He actually seems kinda chill now. We could really learn a thing or two from this interaction.
I'm lending a hand until I get what I want from you guys. I was being nice to you, dirtbag!
Well, never mind. After yet another misunderstanding, they decide to cut the yapping and put the gloves up. Zanka lands the first blow and steps in with a down heavy, followed up by an up heavy, straight into the Zelda Breath of the Wild flurry rush. Rudo tries to counter but gets weaved and revenge counted. Zanka is fighting Rudo to assess his strength since he's intrigued by his ability to turn anything into his vital instrument, but after the first exchange of blows, he realizes that Rudo picked up a plunger and is flinging around nothing but dookie. Rudo thinks he's cooking, but whole time Zanka is just not trying to get hit by the doo-doo. When we cut over to Engine picking them up and finding out what happened.
You're killing me. You guys bonded over a doo-doo duel?
Nah, this man Engine is hilarious. Doo-doo duel in the official dub is crazy. I can already tell I'm going to love this character. They are driving to their headquarters when we get to meet Riyo, who's another one of their members. She seems to be interested in Rudo, I guess. They end up making it to the HQ when we get to meet their Mamacita. What you doing out here, baby? I was thinking me and you go grab some lunch later or something like what's up? This one here is Dr. Uma approved. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry, my bad. on. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused. She's the receptionist of the cleaners, and her vital instruments are her glasses that let her see the potential of anyone she looks at. It's kinda like how Rico from Kuroko no Basket is able to see the stats of any player she sees shirtless. She imbues her glasses, but before we see anything, the screen glitches as she plays it off when Engine asks what happened. This is like that time when Karin looked into Naruto and felt Kurama's chakra. Engine continues the tour and explains that there's around 100 cleaners in the facility as he takes him to see the boss, but we're made aware that he's not here right now. That's when Riyo shows up and says that Rudo can tag along with her on a basic maintenance mission to get an idea for what it's like being a cleaner. That's when That's when Semiu tells us a little bit more lore about the ground. It's divided into two areas: safe zones, which are habitable, and polluted zones, which are inhabitable. Some polluted zones are more dangerous than others, and the most dangerous ones, like the one that Rudo originally spawned in, are called polluted zones. The average party consists of cleaners and supporters. Supporters don't have giver abilities, but they support by carrying stuff and helping with recon. Now that we're all clued up, let the side quests begin. A couple of low-level trash beasts pull up in the first wave, but the second wave is even more insane, which causes Rudo to start getting a bit shaky. Riyo assures him that it's all fine and they won't get any bigger than this.
I seriously doubt the herd will get much bigger. You gotta learn the importance of keeping it cool.
Do you love the way I do when I love in your body?
Well, I'll be damned. A trash beast the size of the armored titan pulls up, and even Riyo is perplexed. She pulls out a vital instrument, and it's a pair of scissors. She's wielding them using her feet, stringing together insane combos. One of the supporters saves Rudo with a lower level trash beast by palming it into the ground and tossing it away like Team Rocket. Damn, even the supporters got it like that. Riyo focuses on the giant trash beast while the supporters clean up the smaller ones. However, this guy ends up tripping and almost gets caught lacking, but Rudo steps in and holds one off. But after actually getting face to face with it, the fear just paralyzes him. Luckily, Riyo comes through and lands the final hit. Riyo says that trash beasts continue to regenerate, so decides to just cut it up until it can't move anymore. Riyo is really putting belt to ass out here looking like Levi Ackerman versus the Beast Titan. She prepared for the final blow before jumping off the top rope with both feet impaling its core. I can already tell this show is going to have some unique and interesting fights. Riyo has already become top 3 scissor users. I mean, there's only like 3, but still. They regroup and it turns out that a vital instrument was powering the trash beast, which is something completely unheard of. Anyways, they return to the hideout and have themselves a nice welcome party for Rudo, which is honestly pretty wholesome. Everyone is enjoying themselves except Rudo, since he's feeling all down because he couldn't get his vital instrument to work. But this ray of sunshine, this sweetheart, this lovely human being Grish, gives Rudo some hope core and tells him not to worry about the small things and that he should just focus on moving forward. He's right, he already saved one life. It's best to look at your cup half full instead of looking at a cup half empty. Pessimism and negativity get you nowhere. A few days go by and Zonka, Grish and Rudo get caught up for a new mission. A merchant was attacked by a trash beast which stole some cargo, which apparently was a living spheroid. Since the spheroid might have some information on how to get to the sphere, they are going to investigate to see if they can get any answers. They meet the client who pushes them into the building where the spheroid was supposed to be, but as they get closer, it's clear that it's just a door and they were tricked into a trap. And after watching Corey play No I'm Not Human, I would have known straight away that was a trap, bro. The floor beneath them falls when they get ambushed by raiders. Seems like news traveled around on the fact that Rudo was in custody of the cleaners, and because spheroids make a lot of money on the black market, these raiders saw it as an easy lick. They are probably like One Piece bounty hunters. I hope they at least stay relevant in the story, unlike bounty hunters. Raiders are also givers, but chose the life of the streets instead of becoming cleaners. The supporters plus Rudo dip out, since they'll be practically useless in a fight between givers, and leave Zonka to handle the 2v1. It low-key reminds me of how when in a Kamiga kill, 2 Imperial Arms users fight, one of them always dies. The squabble commences and the girl begins spawning in mud puppets, but it's light work for Zonka until Ikaku spawns out of one of them and lands a Mike Tyson overhand sending him flying. The girl creates the mud puppets while the man hides away, stacking chip damage over time. It's a solid strategy. Zonka tries to fight them off, but the man keeps easily evading all the hits with almost zero effort. This is probably what Luffy felt like fighting Logia users without Haki. Zonka is just standing there, unfazed, when he tells them to shut up because he's figured out their trick. Only the woman is a giver, and the man is using special shoes to maneuver in the mud. He puts his stick in the floor and uses tough seismic sense from Avatar The Last Airbender to locate Saitama and speed blitzes both of them, knocking them out in 2 blows. Sensational. His battle IQ is insane, no wonder Engine keeps glazing him. Yeah, I can already tell bro's up to no good. He got locks and a gun. We cut over to Rudo and the supporters who are waiting for Zonka to return, just for it to be Lusik, Kaisa Nat, Libby from Jimmy Neutron? Nah bro, before we find out who this even is, I gotta say Gachiakuta is 2 for 2 on the black character designs in this show. They are already contending with Bleach and Fire Force. He latches to the wall like a gecko, and it's clear that he's another raider after Rudo. He blocks the exit and starts yapping about some nonsense, completely ignores the supporters, and tells Rudo that he needs to take him to someone who wants to have a talk. I know he's an antagonist right now, but I can't help but like him. They ask him what happened to Zonka before he deadass says he off-screened him. He releases his bankai, which seems to be a pair of claws. This man is really moving like the Bloodhound Knight Dario from Elden Ring. The two supporters go in for a left-right good night, but he weaves straight into a reverse Uchiha double kick. Grish gets up and says that he's going to protect his peoples, but in that same time, this Shredder wannabe already impaled him with his poisonous claws. Damn. Yeah, you know what it is? It might be raps. When the animation goes back to the manga, we were about to witness a generational crash out. Last time I seen this shit was when Luffy smacked the Jeepers Creepers out of Donald Trump. Rudo grabs Grish's prayer thingy and turns it into his vital instrument as it transforms into something straight out of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Rudo activated his powers because he realizes that it only works when he uses it on something that he sees value in. The Wolverine wannabe finally tells us his name, and it's Jaba. Jaba is just enjoying himself. He's like Battle Beast, always looking for a good squabble. It seems like because Grish prayed to his keepsake every day for everyone to come home safe, Rudo interpreted it as him wanting everyone to come back uninjured, which means that his vital instrument creates the ultimate defensive ability. It kind of works like Vanessa's string cat from Black Clover and almost rewrites reality if it senses the intent to harm Rudo. I just knew I was going to love this power system. It has like an infinite amount of cool possibilities. It's really similar to like, I don't know, I wouldn't say Nen. I would say it's like a cross mix between Nen and Bleach. Jaba goes in for another attack when the Eye of Agamotto activates, allowing Rudo to land a disgusting overhand right to the nose. And this freakazoid Jaba is just laughing whilst getting pummeled. I would even go as far as to say that he might be getting turned on. He switches up his tactic and decides to use his environment to his advantage to try and figure out how Rudo's powers work, but in the process, he's getting hit with the Yusuke Urameshi nothing but knuckle sandwiches. After some experimenting, Jaba says that he figured out his weapon. Things that don't have hostile intent won't be redirected. And you know, off topic, now that I can see the whole fit, the claws, the purple aesthetic, the hair, this man is the Prowler. Like, come on, I know you guys see it too. Anyways, he stabs himself with his poisonous claws before he passes out and reawakens as a mindless beast. This man is tweaking. He goes for a whole barrel roll attack followed up with a side heavy, and it seems like his theory was correct because he's now a mindless beast, so Rudo's vital instrument won't intervene. Even though Rudo's instrument isn't helping, he's still Weave Nation certified, dodging his sparking rush combo and evading his down heavy. Jabra is keeping up with that full court pressure though, and just as it seemed like he was gonna land a hit, my goat Zonka throws his stick from deep, knocking Jabba unconscious. He's not doing too good though, but this should at least even the odds. Zonka and Rudo come up with a plan. Since Rudo's instrument works based on intent, it might be possible for Zonka to strike Rudo and have the weapon teleported in range of Jabba to land a strike. I guess it makes sense, but when I was watching it, I just felt like the weapon was like moving it in a random area, so I didn't understand how it would like put it directly next to Jabba, unless the intention was for it to be next to Jabba. I don't know. Someone is gonna have to explain that to me in the comments. Jabba wakes up and he's still a mindless beast, so they give it a try, and surprisingly, it actually worked as Zonka lands a clean hit on Jabba. They continue their onslaught, clocking him in the neck, the gut, and the head. Seeing Jabba get mixed up like this gives me PTSD to fighting a tryhard in Brawlhalla. They be having you in combos so bad you can't even do anything about it. You just gotta put the controller down, and hey, it really seems like they did it. But when Rudo turns to his vital instrument, it disintegrates into Thanos dust, and at the same time, Rudo just gets knocked because he ended up actually getting caught by Jabba, who gets up like nothing happened because the antidote to his poison is in his left claw. I'm not gonna lie, he just clutched a 2v1. I gotta respect it. He grabs Rudo, and for a second, I thought we were gonna have a Sasuke retrieval arc in the first season, but as he makes it to the outside, my shooters, Riyo and Engine, jump him. Engine had bro up against the wall the same way KSI had speed when they were boxing. Jabba wakes up and he was really ready to take the 4v1, but this femboy teleports out of nowhere, like Lafitte from One Piece, and grabs Jabba, telling him this time is up and he needs to go back to see the boss, adding like yet another layer of depth to the whole situation, because it seems like Jaba and the gang weren't after Rudo for money after all. Grish really ain't doing so good. It seems like bro might actually pack it in. The music, the last words, the fading amulet, I really thought bro was gone. But nah, he was just badly injured. And look at how shocked Rudo is, man. You and I both, bro. You and I both. Because I'm equally perplexed. What type of older pump fake is that? I thought he was gone. Whilst everyone is talking in the hospital, this 6'7" center with a deep voice and cornrows just walks in whilst aura farming as he greets Rudo. Turns out this is the boss of Engine and the cleaners. Gachiakuta has gone 3 for 3 in the span of 8 episodes. The boss accepts Rudo as part of the cleaners when they hook him up with a new fit and tells us some more lore. He explains to Rudo that the border is this thing that lies between the sphere and the ground, but apparently it's a death trap and everyone who has tried to reach the sphere has died. However, he said he heard a story of a traveler that lost their way in the no man's land near the border when he ran into a woman just chilling there. The traveler asked what she was doing there when she said that apparently she's been seeing some people just come and go between the two lands without any issues. Even though it sounds like a bunch of folklore, it's still a good enough lead to go off. That's when we cut over to Jaba and the femboy who made their way back to their hideout as we get a small glimpse of the boss. He spouts a bunch of random words but ends off with saying the Watchman series as it pans over to a similar emblem that was on Rudo's gloves. The plot's thickening. Imagine this is like his dad or like a family friend or something like that. Like, I don't know. They did say that his dad was sent like to fall in the pit too, so it kind of makes sense. Anyways, it's clear that this show has a lot of potential, and with JJK and My Hero Academia's manga both ending and the anime is also coming to a close, I'm happy that something new and fresh with a lot of potential is stepping up. And hey, like I said, I'm gonna be more consistent going forward, so make sure you subscribe and join the family. I'm trying to hit 200k by the end of the year, and if this video gets 6k likes, I'll cover the rest of Gachiakuta once it comes out. If you enjoyed the video, YouTube thinks you'll like this one on screen next, so check it out too. But hey, that's it from me. Peace.